Right, so before the video begins, I decided to start a Patreon account. Any donations will greatly help me through my depression. It's gotten so bad that I started thinking about committing suicide. Right, onto the video.
Because it doesn't get better unless you're bitter. It doesn't get better unless you got money. It doesn't get better, so just give up. It never gets better. It gets worse.
Okay, so we're all familiar with the train wreck that is the AtheistGamer, right?
I also had a diarrhea at the time, you know. The thing with diarrhea is...
Some people think it's gross, but it's really good on toast.
If not, well, it's a good thing that you're watching this, cause I'm going to cover this man-child's antics online. Much like the previous video I did. However, unlike the previous video, this one is going to be a lot less serious, because, well, the subject matter is fucking retarded.
The thing with diarrhea is... it's incredible, it's beautiful.
So why did I decide to make a video on Tag during his second humiliating experience rather than the first? Well, simple, because the first time he made enough of an idiot out of himself. There was nothing to be said, other than point and laugh, and last time I checked, I'm not a reaction channel.
The thing with diarrhea is... it's a real pain in the ass.
This time, however, he had yet another stream with Bering after Tag decided to pull a Thunderfoot and announced that he is leaving the Skeptic community.
It made me realize something, that the Skeptic community is willing to drop me, willing to try to move away from me as far as possible.
Now, I have no idea who wants to drop him from where, but after this video he apparently wanted to have a livestream with Bering for some reason, and Bering obliged. So they have a livestream and it's the usual cringe-inducing shit. Tag complains about how people don't support him or his channel.
Yeah, but I don't really have that much support. There's like a massive gap between the amount of support you get and the amount of support that I've gotten.
As if people must support him. He doesn't realize that the reason Bering is being supported is because his content is decent, while Tag's content is utter garbage, but he fails to realize that. Regardless, in this moment we see his true intention behind his content. He wants to be e-famous and get that sweet dollar cash on Patreon. So what does he do to get support? Does he go away, look at his content, self-reflect a little, come back and improve his content? Nope. He throws a pity party.
It's just everything in my life has become harder and harder to the point where I'm actually thinking of committing suicide.
This came out of nowhere because Bering actually spent a good amount of time trying to explain to his dense ass on how to improve his content, and even told him to stop obsessing over what people say to him online. Tag noticed the opportunity and jumped on that shit, pronouncing himself to be suicidal, after which Bering immediately shut off the livestream. Now, as you can tell from the tone of my video, I don't believe him even for a second, and in this video I will tell you why I'm being skeptical as to his suicidal thoughts. I actually had little to no previous interactions with Tag, at least not until after this livestream, because after the livestream he posted a video announcing the start of his Patreon, asking people to pledge and also bringing up suicide in the same video, just to make sure that people donate out of pity. And I of course took to the comments to call him out on that. I wasn't the only one.
Okay, as soon as I heard about this asshole, I just had to say something. I'm gonna address my personal stake in this up front. As someone who suffers from depression and who's been suicidal, what shitman here is trying to pull right now is particularly infuriating to me. What we have here is a faggot who can't handle the embarrassing mess that he's made, so he's pulling the suicide card to avoid responsibility. Not only that, but he's now trying to use it to extort his viewers for money, because he sure as fuck wouldn't get those Patreon dollars for his crappy videos. But Peralt, how do you know that this is just a scam? Because, in his monetized video, he casually talked about his suicidal thoughts right before asking for money. You can't do that shit and not look really fucking suspicious. Not only that, but when I challenged him on it, he responded that people have ads in videos all the time. People make money off tragedy all the time. That's what news media do all the time. This shit happened to me when Mr. Repzion and that big boobs lady started drama on my channel about how Repzion was making money off someone's death. This pity money is gonna help me a bit of an edge. What a fucking type. So, unless you believe that no one should make money based on tragic moments, which includes the likes of media outlets such as the Young Turks and the Alex Jones channel, you got no position to complain about this. So there we have his admission that he's using this whole thing to make money. AtheistGamer, shitman, you asked if I knew what a suicide threat is. Well, I do, but I'm not sure the same could be said of you. Suicide and mental illness are not get out of jail free cards that you can use to justify your shitty behavior in eBay. When you use them that way, you fuel the stereotype that people who are suicidal are just manipulative attention whores like you, and that makes it harder for people who actually need the help to be taken seriously. Grow the fuck up and have some goddamn dignity. You bitch that you've had a hard life. Well, so have plenty of other people. Do something to make it better. Get off the internet and support your own fat ass like an adult. You don't want to get a job because work is hard and entry level doesn't pay well? Fine, go suck dick for dollars like your mother.
Sorry about that, I have no idea how she got out of her basement, but yeah. As you can see, me and Parole both had quite a fun comment conversation with Tag after he pulled the suicide card. And suffice to say, it pretty much reassured me in my position. Believe it or not, the Duke of Dookie had quite a bit of success during his illustrious YouTube career, finding his way onto Undoomed's channel somehow, and overall garnering a decent amount of subscribers, but all of that came crashing down when Bering decided to target our King of Crap in one of his videos. This marks the moment when Tag's true colors as a massive faggot really showed. Tag made a response video towards this feminist girl which had little to no arguments and was filled with shitty insults and attempts at comedy.
Reproduce. Please, for the love of Christ, do not reproduce. I bet you 50 fucking bucks she disabled her rave and comments. You have your head up. You have your head shut up in your ass. What? So, you know what? I'm not gonna even bother putting a link. Anita Sarkeesian, your Lord and Savior. What? You don't get paid less, you earn less. Because you're nothing more than a fat, greedy, fucking asshole. You know what? I'm just gonna make a straight up video response and tell you on how ridiculously stupid you are. What? I'm gonna dictate men's lives. Is that so wrong? Seriously, you're nothing more than a greedy fucking hog, and your weight proves it. Let's be honest, you're one of those type of people that will never respond to anything that anyone will ever say unless you get paid to do so.
Give my response.
We got ourselves a bass!
And Bering made a video calling him out for acting like a complete asshole. After which, scared, confused and lost, Tag requested a livestream from Bering in hopes of successfully backpedaling and saving his own ass from all the mean comments he was receiving. It went about as well as you could imagine. Suffice to say, it was a massive failure of epic proportions, truly a masterpiece to witness. A perfect study into how a person can spectacularly humiliate themselves by spewing absolute nonsensical shit. Now there is a lot of spurgy shit he said that one could cover. Seriously, we can talk about his hypocritical statements regarding Bering's massive audience, how mean they are and how that's a problem.
I thought, here's this bloke sitting here fucking grilling this 14-year-old girl. I want to see how he handles getting some of his own. And I've got to say, he didn't handle it very fucking well. Right? The third thing...
You have a large-ass fan base!
What the fuck's... What's that got to do with anything? Does that make my arguments better?
No, what I'm...
Well, then what does it got to do with anything, mate? What's your point?
Your fans have, like, delivered so much hatred towards me.
Oh,
like,
you sound like a feminist. Do you not see how you sound like a feminist here, mate?
Despite the fact that he himself stated this.
Sex, sexual orientation, etc. None of these are fucking barriers to me to criticize someone. And if you still have an issue with that, then by all means, unsubscribe to this channel, dislike this video, whatever. It doesn't matter to me.
your fans have like delivered so much hatred towards me.
We can talk about how he owes the girl he responded to $50.
So the third one was, you know, you made a pretty, you made a bet in that video. You said, I bet by the time you watch this, and you're talking to the viewer, I bet by the time you watch this, she will have shut and ratings, right? Now, you're talking to the camera, you're talking to the viewer. So, mate, if YouTube wanted to be massive cunts about it, we'd all be knocking on your door for $50, because I took that bet and I went and had a look at her channel, and her fucking and her things weren't shut down, right? So I went light on you, I went easy on you, and thought, no, I'm not going to put you through that. That's a bit of a shitstorm. But you do owe the chick $50. You've got to pay the chick $50. You realise that, don't you?
We can even have a blast talking about how hot his sister is and how a lot of guys tend to want her.
Fucking. What did Mum want?
That wasn't my mother. That was my sister.
No, what did your sister want? Is your sister hot? No,
Yes.
she wouldn't. No. Oh, she is. Your sister's hot.
Well, a lot of boys tend to like her.
However, we must stay on point and relevant to the argument. And in order to argue my point, I must establish his real goal here on YouTube, which luckily for me, he states himself in the livestream.
I wish I was as popular as you. I wish I had a Patreon account where fans just donate me, at least a little bit of money here and there, so that way I can, provide for myself. It would be. I'm not saying that it will replace, my job, but it will make my life a little bit easier to make content that I love.
So as you can see, that's all he wants, is to make a profit from YouTube, which I must stress I'm not usually against. Kudos to you if you can pull off making a profit from YouTube. However, you're making a profit from and on a public forum, which means you're opening not only your content for criticism, but also the way you earn your money, and with Tag, there's a shit ton to criticize. So after his first humiliation, Tag spurred out a little, because a lot of people were making videos on him and leaving comments on his channel, and then it all quieted down, so basically like any internet drama. But then for some reason just a few weeks ago, Tag, as I said and showed before, pulled a thunderfoot, calling out the unknown skeptic community before leaving it. And then he requested to have another stream with betting, which went just about as well as the previous one. Now, in this stream, Tag apparently wanted to explain the reasoning behind his skeptic community video, which was the reason he made it was basically for himself, which betting then immediately called out.
So you made the video for yourself,
Yes.
and then you uploaded it to the internet, for some reason. How come you tweeted it? I mean, you tweeted it out, and you seem to, like, you tagged, like Dire Wolf and other people that, beware the darkness in it. Like people that didn't really know you. Like, why did you tag all these random people in it? Like, what was the purpose of that?
Well, let's see. I guess it's because I kind of knew that I would start a bit of a storm if I tagged those people first.
So right off the bat we can see that Tag is being disingenuous. Hell, I can even add on top of that argument and say that this entire livestream contradicts the whole point he made about the video being made for himself. He was clearly seeking to gain attention back onto himself. Anyways, few minutes into the stream, we get blasted with this statement.
I kind of think that there is something really, really odd about the whole skeptic community. Like there's some sort of massive double standard.
What do you mean?
I see people get support all the time here. You get support. People love you. Yeah, but I don't really have that much support. There's like a massive gap between the amount of support you get and the amount of support that I've gotten.
Apparently this mysterious skeptic community has a hidden agenda against Tag.
Oh my god! It's like a fucking conspiracy!
Seriously though, the whole double standard comment really shows how Tag perceives this unknown community. Apparently he was convinced that if he joined this community, he would automatically get a shit ton of support. Too bad for him, he was wrong and now he's upset about it. However, he still has 2,000 subscribers, that's some form of support, right? Well, apparently Tag doesn't think so.
You've got 2,000 subscribers. Imagine 2,000 people in a big hall. That's a shitload of people.
But again, I have to gain those subscribers throughout years.
That doesn't mean that they're worth any less. It's still imagine 2,000 people in a hall. It's still, just because it took them years to fill up that hall. I don't understand what you mean.
Believe me, if I really had that much support with those 2,000 subscribers, there would have been at least a little bit more activity there.
So fuck you, 2,000 subscribers, you don't count, because it took him too long to attract you to his channel, which is somehow your fault apparently. Oh, and also because you don't support him, apparently never mind the fact that you for some reason thought his channel was worth enough to subscribe to, but apparently that doesn't count as support, so again, fuck you. But anyways, let's skip ahead to the end, to the main point. So after a lot of whining about not getting support, which he is convinced he deserves, Bering tells him to just get over the people who are dicks online and just move the fuck on. After which Tag drops this.
It's just sometimes it's just everything in my life has become harder and harder to the point where I'm actually thinking of committing suicide.
After which Bering cut off the video and apparently him and Tag kept on talking, which is pretty nice of Bering to do, especially considering the fact that Tag was basically blaming all of his failures on Bering in that livestream. So after the second livestream, Tag uploaded this video where he announces the start of his Patreon. Now, you'd think when announcing the start of your Patreon you'd begin with that and then talk about everything else, but no. We haven't guilt-tripped people enough, hence why he starts the video talking about his suicidal thoughts.
And, we had a lot of fun. I didn't fat mention that I had suicidal thoughts. I didn't act on those suicidal thoughts because I'm pretty much a fucking coward. Although I had suicidal thoughts since like 7th, 8th grade.
Because why not? Why not come off more disingenuous than you already did before? After which he explains why he started his YouTube channel to begin with and Patreon.
But it's not like I have many choices. I needed something to get off my feet. And one of the choices that I had was, make YouTube videos. Yeah, sure, I enjoy it, but, I need to make a little bit of money so that way I can, go someplace,
So he talks about how YouTube was pretty much the only thing get him off his feet, despite the fact that there's a shit ton of other hobbies out there. Not to mention you can go out and get a job. In fact, you should especially start looking for a job if you are in a dire financial situation, just like you say you are.
That I passed the grade, which, by the way, I'm not doing so well in college. It's information technology is a pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah.
And I really wish that I had some form of support. If I had at least maybe $50 a month, then maybe, from the internet, then maybe I might actually, go throughout my day, help my father a bit. I want to do something to, at least benefit my own father so that way he doesn't feel like a total doormat. I'm not just doing this for myself, I'm doing this for my family members.
But see, according to AtheistGamer, getting a job is nearly impossible because apparently you need a college degree to get any type of job in the US.
I mean, I know about Whole Foods, but I'm not sure if they have some sort of extremely high standards, because that's what it is for most jobs. You have to have a college degree, and that's, incredibly difficult. It feels like a goddamn scam here.
Well, according to this article, you're wrong. Nearly 64% of US jobs don't require college education. However, the article then goes on to state that owning a college degree will definitely have its advantages, like higher pay and better work conditions. But as we stand, Tag can still get a job within that 64% radius. Remember, Tag is in a dire need of money right now, so it shouldn't really concern him right now how much a person with a degree makes. His concern should be to make a stable income for himself so he doesn't sit on his parents' neck while studying for his college degree, which he then can use to get a higher paying job. But no, see, that's too much work, that requires too much effort. He'd rather guilt trip people into donating him money online. But Bandaged dude, how dare you? You don't know that Tag went through his life. Oh yeah? Well, let's listen to his extremely hard life, shall we?
You know, I've been, I'm very far behind right now when it's come to the internet because, all the classes that I'm taking. I just, last week I just went to Paranorma. I can't pronounce it. It's a festival that was held in Randall's Island, and I had to work there as a cleaner. Between the hours of 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Got home at some.
That's not that long, man.
On top of my classes,
Right,
which is yes. So I'm like at least a week behind.
Are you cleaning the toilets or something? What are you cleaning?
I have to clean the park, and it's not like a very small park. It's a very big park. Like it's almost the size of a football field.
I think there's a point behind you explaining your morning. So you have your bath with your brush thing.
Yep.
where you brush your back. Then what do you do?
Okay, brush my back. Then I have to take the subway. So basically, it's around a 40 to an hour ride, depending on traffic. And sometimes the cart gets really freaking full. Like sometimes you gotta squeeze in. Hope that you don't suffocate, in the cart.
Surely not in the morning though. Surely it's always been busy in the morning and not coming home time.
Oh, it's always, it's almost always full. I would probably, when I get my money, I'm probably going to spend, maybe a couple of bucks, going to some club, just listening to music, talk to some people, have a drink or two. After I reach to my school that I go to, which is where I take my Microsoft Office / Microsoft PowerPoint, and it's like it's supposed to be like about a 5-hour class, but for some odd reason, they change it to 6, so we have like an extra hour.
So it was the whole point of that story. Was the whole point of that to say I've only got a few hours to look at the internet?
Yes.
Such a hard fucking life, isn't it? What he's described right there is the life of a typical student. Go do your studies and then work to earn money for yourself so you don't sit on your parents' neck. And apparently it's just too much for poor Tag. Hey, at least during the time of his first livestream, he at least had a job, but now apparently he just said, fuck it, I can guilt trip people into donating money to me. Now, the reaction to this was sort of mixed. During the second livestream when the AtheistGamer announced about his suicidal thoughts, a shit ton of people, including me, were telling him to kill himself in the chat, and for a good few minutes those were the only messages that the chat was getting, until a few people came in and started attacking the people who were typing such horrible things. Now, if you're one of those people, fair enough, that's your moral compass and I'm not the one to tell you that your morals are wrong. Feel free to tell me that I'm an asshole because I told him to go kill himself online. However, I would like to point out that the AtheistGamer is not too different himself in that regard. In fact, he is worse because on top of being an asshole, which I have no problems with, he is also a hypocrite. As you can see, he has absolutely no problem telling a 14-year-old girl online to go kill herself. But yet when someone does it to him, oh fucking no! And this is not the only instance of Tag's blatant hypocrisy when it comes to how different people are treated online. He keeps whining about how he is the joke of the internet.
I am now treated as just a giant joke. Big freaking joke on the internet. I have to deal with people on the internet who's just, total jackasses to me, and I just feel like I'm just laughing stock of the internet.
Yet he himself has absolutely no problem taking the piss out of his now new colleague in the joke of the internet department, Christian.
And due to popular demand, I make more videos on Chris Chan because apparently making videos on a completely autistic person who does nothing more than make pathetic videos just trying to stay relevant.
Irony just hopped off its seat and jumped straight out the window. Now, unlike Perrault, who is a bit personally invested due to her past experiences, I am not. I never experienced a severe case of depression, and neither did I ever have suicidal thoughts, so feel free to comment as much as you like about how much of an insensitive asshole I am. I just find it very convenient that he decided to start a Patreon immediately after he dropped the suicide card. Hell, I find it extremely suspicious that all of a sudden he releases a video he knows full well will bring the attention back onto him, and then he spreads it around as much as he can, only after which he drops the suicide card. Funny thing about all of this, the thing that put the AtheistGamer on my laughing list, isn't the fact that he acted like an asshole towards a 14-year-old online. I actually had zero problems with that. If you're brave enough to upload your views on any subject online, be brave enough to take shit for it, regardless of your age or gender. What actually put him on my laughing list to begin with was the fact that once he was treated the same way he treated the girl he took the piss out of, he spurred out like a little bitch, showing his pathetic, insecure, and hypocritical nature. But hey, if you want to waste your money, go right ahead and donate. It's your money, your choice.
Well, fucking who, you're not the only one who's left a piece of shit. And you're correct, you listen, somehow we all seem to do